Assalamu alaikum guys, welcome to NoorulRiazi and this is your mathematics teacher Nuruddin Qureshi. And in this video we will learn about the classification of numbers. So what are the classes of numbers? As you have listened many types of numbers like rational numbers, imaginary numbers, real numbers, integer. So all these are the classes of numbers or we can say the type of numbers. So in this video we will have a brief introduction to all these types. So so these are some of the numbers which include positive numbers, negative numbers, zeros, fractions, decimals, imaginary numbers, all types of numbers. So this superset is called complex numbers. So why this is called complex number? Because it handles complexities of all types of numbers. So in general form, a complex number is represented in this form. So this is the form. So what does this represent? So this is the real part, the variable which is written without any other variable, that is the real part, and this is the imaginary part that is written with I. So what is I here? So this is called iota. So we will study in detail about the imaginary numbers, but as a brief introduction we can say, if I ask you to take the under root of negative number using your simple calculator, so your calculator gives you a math error because this number does not exist in real. So in imaginary world it is called iota and it is denoted by I. So the part that is written with I, that is iota, is the imaginary part of our complex number, and the part which is written without iota is the real part of our complex number. So if we subset our complex numbers, as you can see these numbers are without iota. So these are the real numbers. By definition, real numbers are the complex numbers without any imaginary part. So how we are ignoring the imaginary part? All we have to do is to using this generalized form and put 0 as the coefficient of iota. So all we would have is the real part. So subsetting the complex numbers again. So this part on the left, as you can see, these all are numbers with iota. So these are the imaginary numbers. So by definition, imaginary numbers are the complex number without any real part. So again, using our generalized form of complex numbers and putting 0 as the real number, all we will have is the imaginary number. So setting the complex numbers furthermore. So this subset represents the algebraic numbers. So what are the algebraic numbers? All the numbers which we get as a result of algebraic polynomial or algebraic equation. So how we get the result, what are the roots, what is an algebraic polynomial, that we will study in the algebra section in detail. So these were the complex number and this part represents the algebraic number. So all the remaining part are transcendental numbers. So what are the transcendental numbers? So all the numbers which we can't get as a root of any algebraic equation are called transcendental numbers. So these numbers represents all the complex numbers except algebraic number. So subsetting more. So this subset which you can see is the intersection of the algebraic and the real part are called real algebraic numbers. So what are the real algebraic numbers? The real roots of any algebraic polynomial are the real algebraic numbers. And this part is the intersection of the algebraic and the real number set. And furthermore, what are the real transcendental numbers? So all the real numbers which are not the roots of any algebraic polynomial are called real transcendental numbers. So let's classify it more. This part of our numbers are called the rational numbers. So what are the rational numbers? All the numbers which can be represented or expressed as fractions, that means in p over q form. So as you can see, these are already fractions. The negative numbers, if we can have the denominator as 1, or minus 2 can be represented as minus 4 upon 2. So these numbers can also be represented as a fraction like 1 upon 1, 2 upon 1, 3 upon 1, and 0. Anything dividing 0 is always 0. So this can also be represented as a fraction. And what are the irrational numbers? So all the real numbers which cannot be represented as a fraction are called the irrational numbers. So this part represents the rational number. That means all the real numbers except the rational numbers are called irrational. So let's classify our numbers more. This part, as you can see, these are the complete numbers. So these complete numbers are represented as integers. So what are the integers? As we have just mentioned, these are the complete numbers. So these numbers can be written without any decimal or a fraction part. Now this part which we have just highlighted, so we have ignored the negative part. So this part is called the set of whole numbers. So what is the whole numbers? So these are the counting numbers. As you can see, we can't count any object using a negative numbers. For example, if I say I have two siblings, three siblings, I can't say I have minus two siblings or minus three siblings. I can say I have one sibling, 3 sibling, 5 sibling, or I have 0 siblings, that means I have no sibling. So these are the counting numbers. So all the non-negative integers are called whole numbers. Furthermore, we have 0. So what is 0? 0 is both imaginary and the real number. As you can see, the 0 is lying in the imaginary part and the real part. So 0 is a powerful number. So we can say it is both imaginary and the real. So other type of a number is called natural numbers. So what are the natural numbers? We can say these are the ordering numbers. So if we exclude 0 from the whole number set, we can get the natural numbers. So this part represents the natural numbers starting from 1 and ending till infinity. So this image represents the basic classification of the numbers. So this was all about the types of numbers, the classification of numbers. I hope you liked our lecture. So see you in the next video.